to the Craft Study Centre in Farnham, and I'm talking to Stephen Knott. I was involved with Craft Study Centre through the New Ashgate Rising Stars competition last year, and I was fortunate to exhibit some work alongside some amazing pieces from the Craft Study Centre. So I thought I'd have a chat with Stephen, and he can let you know a bit more about what happens here and what the Craft Study Centre is all about. So what's your role here, and where is the Craft Study Centre? Where is it located in Farnham?
So yeah, my name is Stephen Knott, and I'm the director of the Craft Study Centre. I've been in post for about 2 years. The Craft Study Centre is a part of the University for the Creative Arts' campus here in Farnham, which is about in the westernmost part of Surrey, about an hour from London. And yeah, we're a part of the University of Creative Arts' campus, and we're also a part of the university as a research centre, as well as being a fully accredited museum. So we've got these sort of two elements that are kind of the core business of the centre, which is to be a museum for craft from the 20th century to the present, and also to be a research centre open to scholars, makers, artists, and anyone with an interest in art collections.
So you've sort of explained a couple of the first points that I wanted to put to you, but what sort of exhibits can people see here, and how can they go about accessing the archive of material that you've got?
It's worth saying that all of our exhibitions are free, so just like a kind of standard museum, anyone could come and see 2 exhibition spaces, which is this room, the Tanner Gallery, ground floor, and the first floor gallery, which has a shorter term rolling programme of contemporary craft on the whole. And that's where you get makers who are practicing today, as well as people responding to, contemporary makers responding to the archive. In relationship to your second question, anyone with a legitimate interest in our collections can come and visit and book a space in the research room, which is on the 2nd floor of the building, which is alongside our storeroom with all the archive and collection pieces.
Which I've seen when I was doing the Rising Stars. That was the greatest excitement to me, to be shown the storeroom, and particularly ceramics, which is obviously my specialism, and to see the archive and the sort of the work on shelves in the storeroom. Amazing makers. It was like a treasure trove. It was amazing.
Yeah, we like to kind of show people that on tours and things, just to kind of see that the store is right here on site next to the exhibitions. And behind us you see a few actually all of these are collection items that another Rising Star selected. But yeah, they're all kind of stowed away in boxes, these ones in particular, and you have to kind of unearth them. Yeah, it's quite exciting. But yeah, that conventionally those resources are used by students and PhD students, but we're seeing increasing use of them by artists, just to be amongst the work as inspiration. So that is, if anyone's interested in doing that, they're very welcome. They just have to get in touch with the curator or the generic Craft Study Centre email address and just book a space, because we've got a limited number of staff, they've got to be booked in.
And something else that I was aware of, that you have a loan collection, is that right? That you can actually sort of distribute out to any interested groups, and what sort of things would you loan out?
Well, there's been this handling collection, it's called, that is explicitly there for people to handle and to use in various ways, for education or just for interest. And it's been in the Craft Study Centre since the mid-2000s, but hasn't really been used up until the last year or so. And we've given out a lot to kind of Farnham contacts, like the kind of amateur art group and 318 Ceramics. And so we're looking to use the hand collection more, and it's and to make it more accessible, and to build it hopefully and add things to it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But the idea is that you get a box, and it's mainly ceramics and textile. There's one piece of jewellery, and you can take it away and so explore it, handle it. Usually it's been for kind of educational purposes, but like I say, community organisations have used it, and we would provide guidance as to how
to get the best out of most, out of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And also kind of not worrying about handling it, but also being careful and things like that. It's separate from the collection you can see around us here, which we have to ensure is protected and exhibited according to museum standards and secure and that kind of thing. So handling collection is slightly different.
So what's your current exhibition? I know you have an exhibition in the gallery above us, a textile group. That finishes sort of in September, I believe. But what's your current exhibition or the next exhibition that you're going to be putting on? What's that? On the cards,
So down here is the Tanner Gallery, and we always show work from our permanent collections, so the Craftsday Centre collections. And so the next exhibition down here looks at the calligraphy collection and uses that as a basis for looking at lettering and brushwork across the other areas such as textiles and ceramics. And that's called Fluidity and Inscription, and that opens in early September. So we'll be getting out a lot of the calligraphy and then identifying techniques of brushwork and graffito or scratch work and seeing how those techniques are manifest in the other collection areas.
Across all materials?
Yes, particularly ceramics, a lot of brushed ceramics, painted ceramics, and also painted textile, but also a bit of embroidery, engraved glass, some etching. So it's across the whole collection, some jewellery as well, because we do have a very small jewellery collection, even though officially we're not collecting jewellery. We were given some jewellery in 2006 from the British Council, and that shows one of the techniques they're employed is etching. So we're going to show that as well in the next exhibition. So that's down here. So we always try and give across in this space a sense of the collections, because most of it obviously is inaccessible in the storeroom or the external store. People can't see.
Yes, unless they particularly make an appointment and request certain objects that they can look at.
Which is on our VADS, the Visual Art Database service, or on our own database. And so there's only so much that we can show of the collection out here in these cases, but we're always very keen to loan out work too. So to go back to the other question about upstairs, so that's a rolling programme with like 3-month-long exhibitions. And so we've had the 62 group of textile artists, so textile collective that have produced a number of like really interesting works.
It's amazing. I've just had a look at it. The pieces are very sculptural, very surface sort of detailed. A lot of textures, a lot of working into things, using surprising materials with the textiles. It's really exciting.
Yeah, they're really interested. And there's a kind of focus on stitch generally, but it kind of moves away from those techniques of weaving, pleating, and things like that. So it's a great exhibition, and quite keen to show upstairs like one collective per year because they're very popular and very interesting. Such a range of work.
So collective art groups, craft groups, they can hire the gallery space?
It's more just get in touch and let us know whether we can fit it in the programme and what the collective is doing and how it relates to what's here in the collections. I mean, it's always interesting to have something that links to the collections. But we've had other exhibitions up there about, that are much more just generally about contemporary craft. So big makers like Richard McVettis had a show up there, kind of solo show. So there's been a number of solo shows up there historically. In the last couple of years, there've been more collectives and duos and artistic response. The one solo show we had up there was Neil Brownsword's exhibition last autumn. Obsessors in the New
Yes. So I remember seeing that. There was a lot of wall-hung pieces, and it used a lot of 3D printed components, and that was really, really different, and really exciting new type of craft, I suppose. So if you had to pick any of your favourite objects that you've got in the Craft Study Centre, something that you'd want to take home and have in your own house, what would you choose? Perhaps it changes month by month, but currently, is there something that you
It's
would
really
choose?
great to work with the collections and see so much variety, and I'm no expert in all of them at all. I'm learning each day when I'm with the collections, not on the computer, about the complexities of each craft form that's represented. I suppose I know a bit more about ceramics, but I'm just a tiny bit more, but I'm no expert. But with this calligraphy exhibition that's coming up, it's literally, I didn't understand anything about it, so it's quite kind of, it's a learning curve every day.
Yes.
And I always like anomalies in the collection, like things that aren't really meant to be here, or bits of archival scraps, and that kind of thing.
Because you don't just have a beautiful, complete exhibition quality, museum quality pieces. You have a lot of research material as well, a lot of publications and a lot of work, notebooks, letters, test tiles, all of that sort of thing is also accessible for people to research from.
Yeah, we've got a lot of the makers who donated work to us also donated their own personal collections and papers and correspondence, and I suppose amongst the correspondence some really great letters that, although I wouldn't necessarily want to take them home with me, they're really interesting because I'm trained as a historian, so that's how I got to the kind of this field, was through the history of craft and design and everyday life. But so it's that kind of appeals to my interests, all the kind of archival scraps.
Yes.
In terms of the objects, the David Pye bowls,
the wood, yes, I'll include some photographs of some of the objects that we're talking about. But yes, I saw those as well. And they have this sort of carved, gouged lines, and that is akin to the sgraffito and ceramics. So I can appreciate that.
Those are quite good. But there's, for example, there's things like a jam jar that's been engraved with like kind of a little note about a little poem about honeybees, and it's a glass item which we don't normally collect, but it's here because the person who did it was a calligrapher, Alison Erwick, and she just kind of sort of playing around a little bit on glass, not her normal medium. And so things like that, these anomalies, and there's one shelf in the storeroom that seems to be full of anomalies, like shelf M5, and there's a lot of kind of odd things down there, including a lot of sculptural ceramics which we haven't been known for compared to like vessels and things, which is quite exciting to kind of look in and see what we've got there. And there's been some discoveries down in that little part of the story.
Exciting. So just to sort of finish off our discussion really in a slightly wider context about Farnham and the importance of Farnham as a world craft town, and what that means to the Craft Study Centre, and some of the other events that happen in Farnham, because it has a craft month in October, and then there's a lot of other events that take place over at Farnham Maltings, which is the Arts Centre. So how do you get involved in Craft Month, and what does it mean to the Craft Study Centre to be in a World Craft Town?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a World Craft Town since 2020, so it's kind of 5th year of Farnham Craft Town, and it was set up in partnership with Craft Study Centre, the University for the Creative Arts, the New Ashgate, Farnham Maltings, and the Town Council. It's really important that we've got council support. So it's a kind of partnership, quite a kind of organic, slightly organic, not kind of too structured partnership. And then it has links to all of the charities and makers and individual makers and businesses that kind of support and do crafts and support crafts and learning and selling and exhibition, all the different elements. The Craft Study Centre's role is, we were involved in the application when it to the World Crafts Council when it was all set up. So and our role is to support the programme in I suppose using our collections, bringing in perhaps like international or national attention to the Craft Month through the kind of uniqueness of the collections. We always sort of pack out a programme of events that we run during Craft Month, and this year is kind of no exception. We've got quite a lot going on in October. And so it's a time when all the craft institutions come together to try and promote and celebrate craft and show to audiences, not just here in Farnham but beyond.
Yes.
You know, the richness of craft heritage
Yes,
here, and
yeah.
particularly in contemporary craft.
Yeah.
You know, not so much in what's going on now in
Yeah.
contemporary practice and practice of the 20th century.
That's right, yeah.
Um,
And there's such a rich sort of pool of makers and artists in the Farnham area.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, living here and working here and teaching here. So yeah, so that brings me on to my last sort of point, and that is obviously that people can check out the Craft Study Centre on your website.
Yeah.
And you've got social media and things. So how can people, find out more information? Where will they go?
Yeah, well, just before answering that, it's important to say that we're open to the public 10 till 5 every day, apart from Monday and Sunday. And on Saturday we close at 4. So we're kind of open, and I'm always willing to kind of welcome visitors in person. If you go to the website, which is csc.uca.ac.uk, you've got a full list of our what's coming up, how to book for events that we run, and then the Instagram we've got. We didn't used to have an Instagram. We're really happy that a recent member of staff who's joined us is now leading on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just check out at Craft Study Centre.
At Craft Study Centre on Instagram.
On Instagram,
Okay.
and that gives a kind of sense of what's going on, and we promote all the kind of events there too. But also the website has a kind of full listing of upcoming events and exhibitions that we're running.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
No worries,
Thanks very much for chatting.
And thank you for being a part of this exhibition.
It's been a great experience. Thank you.